US President-elect Donald Trump has refused to rule out the use of military force to seize control of the Panama Canal and Greenland.
And this, as he declared, U.S. control of both will be important to American national security. A day after Congress certified his election victory and less than 2 weeks before he takes office on January 20th, Trump, in a press conference at his home in southern Florida, left open the use of the American military to secure both territories.
Your staff to take a specific action to drop land. Your references to Greenland and Panama Canal. So, can you explain that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us a little bit about what your plan is? So, what is the strategy?
Yeah, I can't assure you, you're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this, we need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that you'll have to do something.
The Republican president-elect's intention marks a rejection of decades of U.S. policy that has prioritized self-determination over territorial expansion. But Trump, since winning re-election, has repeatedly returned to the idea of U.S. territorial expansion, including taking back the Panama Canal. He said that the canal is vital to the U.S. and claimed it's being operated by China.
Look, the Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion, more so maybe than the hostages.
Donald Trump criticized deceased and late former U.S. President Jimmy Carter for permitting a handover of the Panama Canal when he was the president. The canal was built in the early 1900s, and the U.S. maintained control over the canal until 1977, when treaties negotiated under President Jimmy Carter gradually ceded the land back to Panama.
Panama President Jose Raul Mulino has refused to entertain negotiations over its control and rejected Trump's claim, saying there is no Chinese interference in the canal. Trump also ruffled European feathers with a separate territorial proposal, and that is to buy Greenland, an island abutting the emerging Arctic geopolitical battleground that he sees as important to U.S. security.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security.
His remarks came at a time when a U.S. delegation of aides and advisors that includes his eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., is in Greenland on what was described as a personal visit with no official meetings scheduled.
Greenland, home to a large U.S. military base, is an autonomous territory of Denmark, a longtime U.S. ally and a founding member of NATO. Trump, with his remarks, cast doubts on the legitimacy of Denmark's claim to Greenland.
However, Denmark's Prime Minister insisted on Tuesday that Greenland's future should be decided by its inhabitants.
Greenland is not for sale. The United States is our absolute closest ally, and we want to work closely with them in all defense and security questions. It is also regarding the North Atlantic, where tensions are rising. We have a clear interest in that it is the United States that plays a large role in the area and not, for example, Russia or other countries. But Greenland is for the Greenlandic people.
And for more on this, the correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report. Listen to this.
President-elect Donald Trump on Tuesday made some controversial comments about U.S. expansion and military use. He suggested renaming the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America, and refused to rule out using force to take over Greenland and the Panama Canal. Trump cited economic and national security interests and concerns, accusing Denmark and Panama of mismanagement. Greenland officials quickly reiterated that Greenland is not for sale, echoing Denmark's sentiments back in 2019 when Donald Trump attempted the same. Panama dismissed its claims as well. Now, critics argue that these comments risk straining international relations on the one hand and could also spark geopolitical tensions. Analysts say that these comments are negotiating tactics and appeal to Trump's base, but the feasibility of such actions may be legally and diplomatically questionable at the end of the day. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.